All right. Well, this was not Kentucky, was it? Mississippi Republican Lieutenant Governor Tate Reeves handily defeating his Democratic challenger, Attorney General Jim Hood, in a competitive governor's race. The governor-elect joins us right now. His first interview since his big win. Governor, very good to have you. Congratulations.
Well, thanks, Neil. It's good to be with you this afternoon.
A nearly 6% margin is very respectable. In your state, you already had people saying, well, 4 years ago, it was 34%. Things are narrowing in Mississippi. Maybe not turning blue, but a tighter fight than you would have expected. What do you say?
Well, it was a tight fight. It was a battle. There's no doubt. 4 years ago, the Democrats nominated a truck driver that did not even go to the polls and vote for himself. This year, they nominated a 4-term attorney general that was very popular. He served 16 years in state office and had been a district attorney up in the north part of our state for 8 years prior to that. So he had never lost an election. He was popular, and he ran a good race. But at the end of the day, we had overwhelming turnout by conservatives throughout our state. And we ended up with a 6-point victory, and we feel very, very good about the outcome.
I noticed turnout was a very strong for both parties. It was something that was predominant in a lot of races, especially these 4 races, the 4 states that we were focusing on. And what's remarkable about it, and you know better than others, is that both parties seem to be very successful now at bringing out crowds that would normally not be there in an off-year election or special election. I'm wondering what that says about next year, especially in your state.
Well, I will tell you, I think you saw a huge turnout in Mississippi. We had a turnout that was larger than any gubernatorial election in many, many, many years. And I think the reason for that is because people are engaged. People understood the importance of this election. And honestly, the fact that President Trump stumped here for us late in the campaign, as did Vice President Mike Pence. And then by the same token, former President Barack Obama did robocalls for my opponent on the eve before the election. So there was a lot of interest here from national Republicans and national Democrats, and that really motivated people to get to the polls.
And I know you have far more important things like taking over the state and your own priorities, but there has been talk increasingly that Republicans shouldn't take the South for granted, shouldn't take states like Texas for granted, where depending on the poll and the moment and the month, it's tight or very competitive. Do you buy that Republicans have to sort of look over their shoulder here, that maybe something's going on in the South that they are taking for granted?
Well, I don't think that Republicans are taking anything for granted. I do believe that elections are going to be competitive throughout the country. When you talk about President Trump and winning Pennsylvania and winning Michigan in his original election in 2016, the races are competitive now. There are more people paying attention. There are more people getting their news and getting their information from online and other sources. And so with that being the case, I don't think we're necessarily taking it for granted, but I do think you have to run a campaign like we ran our campaign. We literally went to every county in the state. We tried to earn the vote of every single Mississippian. And when you look at the returns, what you find is that we performed very well throughout our state. This was a statewide victory, and I think Republicans across the South, just like Republicans across the country, can be competitive and must be competitive, but they got to work hard to do it, and they can't take anything for granted.
What do you think next door, Jeff Sessions, kicking around running for Senate again?
Well, I don't know the former senator very well. I have watched his career. I wish him the best of luck. I know there probably is going to be a large number of Republicans in that United States Senate primary over there. And one thing I know for sure is the best thing for the country is not to have a liberal Democrat representing the state of Alabama. I had the opportunity to talk to Governor Ivey in the last couple of days. She and I have been friends for a long time. Right. And I know the Republicans in Alabama are committed to ensuring that we send a Republican and a conservative back to Washington, someone who's not going to stand with Senator Schumer as their Democrat senator does.
All right. And so Jeff Sessions would be better than any of that.
Well, there's no question that a conservative and a Republican would be better than a Democrat representing any state in the South, or quite frankly, any state in the country. All
right. Governor-elect, thank you again. Congratulations.
All right, Neil, thanks so much for having me.